with Elk Brewery. Today we're going to do another quick tip series on filtering using the plate filter. I want to talk about backflushing the filters this time. This is a new technique that I haven't done yet. We're actually going to try it today for the first time. And the idea is we're going to filter half of the beer over. Then we're going to close off the bleed valve on the bright tank. Allow the bright tank to build a little pressure. Then we've installed this trap system on here, which basically just consists of a T and two shutoff valves. So what we're going to do is shut off the flow into it, which is going to now have pressure in the tank and be pushing pressure backwards. Then we're going to hook a hose here, and we're going to slowly bleed this off. And the idea is we're taking this clean beer that was already filtered, and we're pushing it backwards to remove the heavy yeast sediment off of your filter pads, cleaning your filter pads. Then we're going to close that valve and then open this back up to resume the normal flow. So we're thinking that we'd be able to use maybe half the amount of pads that we normally use in this by back flushing and cleaning. Now we are going to waste a little bit of beer this way, but I think the money that you would save in the filter pads would make up for the amount of beer loss that you're going to do. Like, I don't think we're going to have to dump a lot. We're going to try this out and we'll see what happens. But the other thing that made us really want to do this is we're getting ready to double the size of our system. And I'm thinking, this handled 5 barrels perfectly. And we're experimenting to see how many additional plates we can fit on here. So we're going to max this thing out with plates, which we'll update you when we do that, how many plates we can actually push through this thing. But I know it's not enough to do a full 10 barrel, but by adding this back flushing thing, I think we'll be able to do it. I think we can pull it off. I think we can put enough pads on here, back flush halfway through, and still get the filter complete, so I don't have to purchase a new one of these right away. We're about halfway through our transfer here, and we already shut off the blow-off tube on the brake tank. So we've built pressure up there. We're about 3.5 psi pressure. So the idea here is now I'm going to close off the feed from the fermenter. And then now we're going to back pressure and back flush this by opening this valve. And here we go. And I think I'm only going to do about 1 gallon here. So we're not going to waste too much. But we'll just see, I mean, you can definitely see it's cloudy. Like, it's really cloudy coming out of there. So I think we are removing quite a bit of yeast out of these pads. And I think 1 gallon's a pretty good sacrifice. I mean, that's not too bad. Alright, so I'm slowly going to close this up. Now everything should be pressurized. There should be nowhere that oxygen could get introduced into this part. So now I'm going to open this back up, nice and slow. Now we should be pressurized moving this way. And then I'm going to go ahead and crack this valve. Let that start bleeding, so now we should be able to finish our transfer. Gallon of product we back flushed through. We poured some in a pint glass to see. I mean, it looks like a hazy IPA extreme. This thing is packed full of yeast that's been removed. So I'm feeling pretty confident. We've sacrificed 1 gallon of product and we removed all this yeast out of these pads. So now it makes room for all the additional yeast that has to be pulled out of solution. So I think we've cleaned these pads enough to get through the second half of the filtration. Now with this today, we did put the appropriate amount of pads in here. So we're not really going to know until we actually get our 10 barrel system and we actually try to filter 10 barrels at once. But I think this is going to work. We're going to add an additional 10 pads to this, and then we're going to back flush halfway through, and I think that we can push 10 barrels through this filter. I'm pretty confident of that, and once we get our new system, we'll shoot another video and basically just show you the process. So if you do have a 10 barrel system and you're looking at filters, this might be an option for you still.